Welcome back to World of Matchups, everybody. And this is the time of the show that we love the best here, our Game of the Week segment. This week, we are featuring the Buffalo Bills at my very own Kansas City Chiefs. Ladies and gentlemen,
Chiefs.
in the blue corner, our first female guest on World of Matchups, my good friend, a woman who's been thrown through tables repeatedly, Buffalo Bills fan extraordinaire. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Miss Jordan Kusi. And in
Hello.
the red corner, a man that needs no introduction anywhere in the civilized free world, the mayor of Bound Town, a man that was born wearing a red diaper. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to World of Matchups, Mr. Matt Bound. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate having you. I love this matchup, and I love what I think is going to happen on Sunday Night Football, which is going to be an absolute explosion of offensive fireworks. So first things first, we'll talk about the Bills. Jordan, the last couple times Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs have played the Bills, the Chiefs have come away with resounding victories in different kinds of ways, whether it was throwing the ball, whether it was running the ball down your throat. A year later, pretty much the same personnel on Buffalo's side. What's going to be different this time?
Well, I think a few things are different. One, our defense has always been pretty on point. However, as a team, I think we've really come together. We are the number one ranked defense currently. Jordan Poyer is going to be healthy for this game. We're really going in with minimal injuries, so that's huge. Also, just improvements in our offensive lineup this year, where I think we got stumped by KC's defense in the past. This year, Josh Allen has way more viable options to throw the ball. He doesn't have to worry about running it himself. Our running core has been strengthened immeasurably in the offseason. And with the addition of Sanders we have more targets to throw to. So I think that'll be a key aspect of the game as well.
I like what you're saying, and I like the heat you're bringing, and I like the fire with your colors. A real true fan, albeit I think that's not what will happen. I like what you're saying. Matt, please tell me and all of Chiefs Kingdom, how are we going to stop Josh Allen on Sunday night?
Yeah, so it's real simple. Nothing's going to change. We're going to keep the streak alive. We're going to continue to go in and dominate the Buffalo Bills. Really, I think in all honesty, I think this is going to be potentially a very high-scoring game. If you look at last week, they both put up 40 points against their opponent. The challenge for the Kansas City Chiefs is going to be, that defensive line. Can we get pressure on on Allen? If we can get pressure on Allen, it's going to be a very interesting contest. If we can't, I think the Chiefs will have some challenges. I am excited, though, to unwrap a potential new weapon in Josh Gordon. Mm-hmm. We'll see if he gets any playing time. He hasn't made the 53-man roster, but even if he doesn't catch the ball, if he's on the field, the potential to spread that field and take pressure off of Kelsey and Tyreek and everyone else, and get some more one-on-one matchups would be huge for the Chiefs of trying to put some points on the board.
Yeah, the last thing the Chiefs need is another weapon. That's the last thing the Kansas City Chiefs need is another weapon.
They need as many as they can get.
Yeah, for sure, especially since they haven't been able to really stop anybody on the ground. I'm not sure that most people really fear a guy like Devin Singletary, but Zach Moss is ascending. It'll be really interesting to see how they use him come Sunday night. So, Jordan, you're
real quick inserting. You're forgetting our other running back, which is our quarterback.
Yeah.
So we have three out.
But you've had that quarterback in the past, and you've been carved up by the Chiefs. Nothing. I mean, let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is.
Sorry.
Tell me what you think your team has to do to. I'm not going to say stop Mahomes, Jordan, because no one can really stop Mahomes but Mahomes. But what are you going to be able to do to slow him down that you guys did differently than last year? What is it different this year versus last year?
I think the number one thing we have to do is watch our penalties. Defensive penalties killed us last year.
Yeah.
Especially in the playoff game. It was horrendous. And then in our first opener of the year this year against the Steelers, the one game that the Bills have lost, defensive penalties played a big portion of that.
Yeah.
So make him earn every yard that he's going to get. Also, we need to keep our momentum all the way through. We need to make sure we are not allowing those third downs to happen. Keep the momentum through the entire game. Keep the momentum through all three downs.
Yeah, and I think while it's a tall order, I think it's doable. The Chiefs have played some sloppy football to this point, and I think Mahomes just tried to be Superman at times and kind of the pressure of Kansas City on his shoulders at times sometimes I think makes him do things that he probably shouldn't do, but he can kind of get away with it. But if Buffalo can do that, it's possible. It's possible? I don't think it's probable, but it's definitely possible. Matt, last year in the rain in Buffalo, we watched Andy Reid kind of do some non-Andy Reid things by allowing Clyde Edwards-Helaire to run the ball 20-something times to the clip of like 150 yards. A 5'7", less than 200-pound running back had a field day versus the Buffalo Bills. Is that something that you see Andy Reid implementing again this week, especially since the last couple weeks you've seen CEH now go over 100 yards. He's not putting the ball on the ground anymore. We really want to get his confidence back. Where do you see him fitting in on the offense on Sunday?
Yeah, I think he's a huge part of the offense. I think if they're able to establish the running game, that's going to take pressure off of our front five. We can do a lot more play action. If Clyde Edwards-Helaire has 100-plus yards and doesn't put the ball on the ground, I think Kansas City Chiefs get a W for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I think their passing attack is really what propels them. And so if all of a sudden you allow them to run the ball as well, it could be a long day for the Buffalo Bills. Jordan, let's talk about a player that I absolutely love, who has been on your team now for a while, but he's actually getting his flowers and he's ascending, and I think he could be a huge problem for the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday because the Chiefs do not defend the tight end well. Let's talk about Dawson Knox.
I would love to talk about Dawson Knox. Honestly, last year, he was my least favorite player on the team. I called him feet for hands. He couldn't catch anything. He has been tremendous this year. He has made so many improvements. In the past 3 games, he's had 4 touchdowns and a bunch of yards. I don't know the number off the top of my head. But he is a solid option for Josh Allen now, and he is turning into a weapon. And I'm sorry, I feel like I cut you off and just got excited about
Well, I know you like Knox, and I like Knox too. You know what I mean? I'm not a fair – when I do my show, I'm Kansas City all day, every day, but I come from it from a neutral standpoint because I just love the NFL. We just love football here at World of Matchups, and so when I see a player growing, it kind of piques my interest, and we need to know who to stop on Sunday.
Right.
We need to know who to stop on Sunday. Let's talk a little bit about, Matt, if there's one player that you absolutely need to see show up on Sunday that hasn't been showing up for KC, who's the player?
Gosh, you know what? I got to move that to the defensive side of the ball, man. I don't know if Frank Clark is playing or not, but if he is, that guy needs to make some plays. We need to help out, Sack Nation. Get some pressure around the corners. We need to. I know you're saying one player, but that defensive line altogether just has been underperforming. We got 25% of our salary tied up in those guys. It's time for them to step up and make some plays.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I feel like Frank Clark got $100 million for 3 sacks.
You got that right.
And while there were 3 sacks that brought a Super Bowl to Kansas City, I'm starting to question. I'm never a big supporter of giving $100 million contracts to players on the defensive side of the ball. I also feel like that's why they haven't paid Honey Badger yet, and I'm kind of really wanting to be careful to give him that money while he might be worth it. I could see an Eric Berry 2.0 situation taking place there, so that's always something to watch. Jordan, who's the player on your team that you've been waiting to show up that hasn't been showing up that needs to show up Sunday night?
Diggs. Honestly, I know that with the addition of Sanders, Josh has more options to throw to, and I think Diggs has been in a lot of double coverage situations, but he needs to get his confidence back. He needs to get back in the game. He needs to get touchdowns.
Yeah, I said it last year about Diggs. I'm like, don't expect this guy to have the same production next year. I mean, he is a great receiver, and it was a wonderful marriage between him and Josh Allen last year. But to be able to sustain that catch rate in a team that wasn't really a throw-heavy offense to begin with, and now you have the ascension of guys like Knox, Sanders, Singletary catching balls out of the backfield. He's not sneaking up on anybody this year. Diggs is going to get doubled and tripled.
Yeah, I think he was that surprise last year that no one was expecting. But I still think he needs to be in the game a little bit more. And you say the connection with Diggs. The magic of the Buffalo Bills is that it's not just the connection with Diggs. Look at the prom picture Josh Allen posted with Knox two weeks ago. Like, there is a family within that entire team. And I think that's something that makes the Buffalo Bills really special.
Yeah, and that's why I really like this matchup too. You know, I had Mark McMillan in an interview here earlier this week, and we were talking about there's certain teams that are just families. You know, Chiefs Kingdom, that's a family. You know what I mean? Bills Mafia, that's a family. Like, you go someplace and you meet another Chiefs fans, you're invited to the cookout. You go someplace else and you meet another Bills fans, you can come over for Christmas. And so these are like very prideful, storied franchises that are going to meet Sunday night, and they have a lot to prove. And I'm here to tell you, like, Kansas City cannot afford to lose this game. The Bills can afford to lose this game. I don't think the Chiefs can. I don't think anybody in the AFC West can afford to lose 2 games in a row, more or less a game the way everyone else is playing. And so I'm taking the Chiefs with Harrison Butker kicking a 53-yarder at the gun. 31-28 is my final. What's your final, Matt?
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. If the Chiefs can keep the Bills in the 20s, I think we'll win the game. If they start getting in the 30s or higher, I think it's going to be bad for the Chiefs. So with that home crowd advantage, Sunday night football, us needing to get a W, I'm going to say you're looking at a 28 to 38 game, somewhere in there.
Nice. What do you think, Jordan?
See, I'm thinking that this is going to be a game of defense, and it's going to be on the lower scoring side. I think it's going to be a 3-point game. I'm going to take Buffalo 21, Chiefs 17.
Yep. If you're a betting person, you definitely want to take Buffalo. I see a lot of I close my eyes and I just see bombs. I see balls in the air everywhere.
It never works out.
I know, but I see desperation from Kansas City. I see the Chiefs watching what other teams are doing and being like, man, that's where we were last year. That should be us. And I think that a lot of people are forgetting about Kansas City. On our power ranking, Spencer and I have them ranked 8th right now, and I want them to be higher. And I think the only thing that is keeping them from being higher is their defense. If you're saying you think it's going to be low scoring, in my mind, I think the defense shows up. If Frank Clark plays, a big play will be made, and I see the Chiefs winning by 3. So we want to take a time to say thank you to both of you for coming on. I know, Matt, you're in Hawaii right now. Jordan, you're in Virginia, right?
Yes,
we got people coming on World of Matchups from all different time zones, and it is fantastic. We appreciate you guys coming on. Good luck to you both on Sunday Night Football. We look forward to having you guys on in the future, or maybe even in the studio. God bless. Enjoy the games. Guys, take care. We'll talk to you soon.